Okay. Here we are. Something feels wrong with my camera, but I'll live with that for now. I should have grabbed chapstick. I was looking for that earlier. I was on a Zoom call earlier and I couldn't find my chapstick in my desk. And now I'm realizing that I'm back in this same spot, but it's fine. Okay. Whoa. Alright. Is everything working? Okay. My apologies in advance to anyone who watches this, because you're gonna hear the rain outside. It's weirdly raining in LA right now. And I don't know why it's raining. So, which I did not stream any of that. And when I was streaming this last time, I had to wait for a license from Negative Lab Pro because I couldn't like batch process stuff. It had me stuck on a trial and I don't know why. And so I started working on this. I was like, you know, I'm not technically set up to like stream today. Also, I really need to figure out like, I think my color, the way this pulls through streaming wise, the color profile for the screen's wrong, but it's fine. Moving on. So this is kind of where I'm at with these. I'm also realizing right now, is there a reason that I flagged this one over this one? No, there's no logic to that decision making at all. I also have no idea what I was doing here. I feel like those are things that converted wrong. I'm gonna work on these right now. And the reason I'm gonna work on these right now is because I feel like, how do I word this? I feel like they're gonna require the least amount of nonsense. Also, as a side note, I'm gonna redo, I want to redo like these Lightroom preset videos. I've come up with the theory, so I need to put them all back in here. But that's beside the point. Okay, I just realized that I was trying to figure this out the other day. Anywho, it's not relevant to what I'm doing now, so I'm gonna shut up. But we're gonna go back to this. White balancing in my gray space. I figured out-ish a color that I want to roll with these. My license is active now. Why, like, actually in my screen, I'll never know the microphone is in the way. We're gonna convert. And then it should automatically load what I had going on. The more I play around with this plugin for my style, I'm learning that I kind of like to live in the space with the linear tones. The log stuff I like, well, cinematic log stuff, I like all of these too. I like these, and I like the linear ones the best. I don't know why, but I just feel like there's something a little bit too punchy about how all the lab profiles would come out, so we're gonna live here. The other thing that I found that's really strange, and I don't know if anybody who's watching this is familiar with converting film in Lightroom, but the one thing that I found strange is that, you know, all these photos are shot in the same light, the same environment at my studio, just like casually hanging out on the floor, and sometimes I need to have my tones deeper, and sometimes I need to have them lighter. And I am developing this stuff myself, so I'm wondering if there's something that I'm doing wrong, but that's beside the point. I don't think so, though. But it is honestly wild how, like, from this to this, you can get such a different look out of a scan. I have no idea how I got that. Okay, so I'm gonna finish converting these really quick, too. I cannot believe that it is raining here. Okay. And so something that I'm going to have to go back and do as a side note, and I'm going to apply this really fast just so I can show you. This is kind of, I don't want to call it my hero image because it doesn't necessarily make sense, but I'm going to call it my hero image. I suppose Lightroom's giving me the name of reference photo, but whatever. I'm using this portrait of her as the baseline for what I want to go off of, right? So things that I'm considering are, does the tonality in this part of her pants match close enough to the tonality in this image? Are the tones in the face similar enough? The one thing that is driving me bonkers about this reference photo, which I've already gone into Photoshop to take out, is there's some like warmth creeping in the upper left hand corner. Light leak, because I know me well enough to know that I did not have lamps on in the studio while I was shooting these. I'm not like a mixed lighting environment kind of girl. Which, as a side note, if you're shooting a studio environment and you get like weird warmth or coolness in your imagery, it's because you're mixing your color temperatures. Or the color temperatures of your light. So, on a silly regard, I shouldn't say silly, but like on a more applicable regard, if you're taking a self-portrait and you want to use window light, turn off the lamps in your house. It'll make a huge difference. Anyway. So I know I didn't have anything on here. I don't know why that's there. And it's also not in some of these other images. But I am also maybe wondering if it's how, like, say things got developed or converted. I'm not sure. Because it does come in prominently through here, and these are definitely, like, back to back. So, where we'll begin is this. I'm going to take some of the cyan tone, I guess that's how I'm going to word that, out of here and see if that gives me the little leak up in the left hand corner. Do it again, I don't think. That's whatever. It doesn't do anything. I know I adjusted the exposure on some of these as I went through them. I have my settings loaded through Negative Lab Pro, which is great. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to consider that this part of the image might actually be considered the highlight point, but I'm not positive. I'm going to start with the mid-tones and see what happens if I pull this just a little bit this way. I can't tell if that's too much or not, so I'm going to hit 0. I'm going to clear that out. I feel like making intentional moves when I'm editing is really important. I know that that's not important for other people, but it's fine. I want to make sure that things feel right to me. So I don't want to leave that there. Yeah, it's definitely in the highlights. I'm just like pushing a little bit of red in there. It's completely changing how that matches, which is really wild. So, now this light leak is coming in here and it's more prominent, more noticeable. And if that's the case, I might actually not hate it as much if this is naturally occurring in the shot and exists in all of my images. But I gotta figure out how to, I gotta get through converting the rest of them. So here to here, these match way more now. And also, as like a side note, I am gonna turn this off for a second. I am converting these directly from scans of my negatives. So there are so many ways you can go about doing this, and also different applications. I just like that you have more control in Lightroom. The one thing with Negative Lab Pro is you have to crop it. In these photos here, I sampled this negative space as my white balance. Here, hold on. So I pull my whites balance out of this like, or technically probably be considered black area if you were to invert it. But just for the sake of showing how varying the images can be in this program, I'm going to show you what it looks like if I don't do that. And so I'm going to convert it. What I think is really great about this plugin is that it knows where you're pulling your image from, whether it's a photo. I do tabletop scanning, which you can't see, it doesn't matter, it's back in here. So like right off the bat, just with, hold on, I'm gonna make sure everything's reset too. With all of this like generic, all the generic settings that it comes with, you can kind of just like rattle through these. Watch me do this and then want to take it in here instead of being in the rosy space. That would be really funny. And that would be something that I would do. Where was I for that? Yeah, but see, I just don't like things to have that much going on in there. Okay. Backpedaling before I get distracted. Just these tones alone, as you go through them, completely change the overall look and feel of the photo. And I feel like there's lots of people I know that go for like this flat, soft, and soft lows, soft highs, color a day look. I don't remember what I was doing. Was I doing linear deep maybe? Yeah. What does lab soft versus linear deep look like? And this will be the tricky thing. So I'm trying to kind of hone in on what is going to be my go-to. And I feel like I need to not overthink this too much, because I have a bad habit of doing that. I hate that I like the lab soft more. So anyway, where I'm going with this little side experiment that might actually change a lot of what I just did already is that you can process this stuff and have it look like totally different. Now that I'm staring at this though, I feel like I like this more in this cooler tone space, which is problematic because that means I might reset what I did. I need to stick to, no matter how you scan it in, it's never going to all be identically native to the film, if that's even a word. Identically native to the film, just because there's so many different kinds of scanners and ways to scan this stuff in, and then that impacts the color of the film. I actually go to this, which is a little bit worrisome because I might change my mind later, but we'll see. I feel like the first thing that I will want to do though is just like decide if I want to bring any of this stuff up at all. It's kind of funny that right off the bat I just like this with the auto neutral. So technically this is what this would look like to the Kodak stock. For some reason this feels wrong to me. I think that when I did my custom white balance, I leaned into this warm and then I played around with it, but I don't actually remember. Because yeah, that feels like super green tone to me. Alright. So, I'm gonna take this back to here, and I might put like, honestly a little bit more. Why would I swing this into green more? You know, I'm trying to like green more as an shove cool tones into my imagery. So I feel like I need to start doing that. I feel like I always try to pull that out and add warmth, and I don't know why. And technically if I was smart, I would have a color card for this shoot, but I definitely don't. So I'm gonna kind of just make it up a little bit. And so I actually think I might like where that's going more than what I originally did. And I do. So that's going to cause me to redo all of this. Sorry. So I'm going to save this now. And by clicking save, when I go into here, I'm not going to reset it. I'm just going to go back in Negative Lab Pro. I am going to load it. Should I reset? Yeah, I definitely. Now I have crazy amounts of gear, and here I am just making everything really. Making it more work, honestly. I hate that I can't actually top that matches right now. I'm gonna apply this and kind of ride with it for a second. And the only reason I say that is because I can just barely see the floor here, but I can't tell what this wall looks like, and it's so much easier to color match everything when I can see the pants and the wall. So we're gonna reset this, we're gonna load this one up. Why do I feel like that didn't go? My eyes are playing tricks on me. It did. I'm just off the rails. Okay. Yeah, so oh no, I don't want to do that. Is reset the actual image. I only want to reset it in here. Yeah, even this feels like it's missing some magenta in there, which I have in my base image. Is this actually loading up the right stuff? That's my next curiosity. I'm sure it is, but I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, it is. Okay. So things I can do for sure. I'm gonna take that down. And then I want to acknowledge right now that I can tell that there's more magenta in her pants here than in here. So I'm going to push, I'm actually going to see two things. First, I'm going to go to neutral. Curious. It's because the neutral setting for this particular image isn't that far off from what I dialed in for her. So that means I think I'm going to need to push a little bit more of the cool tones in there. And just like a small... And that's definitely getting me, I think, closer. But we shall see. Okay. I'm trying to determine... I mean, this feels pretty safe. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this one now. I'm going to apply this because this feels like it's applying almost way more in line with how I need it to than the other ones. And it is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this magenta down a touch. And then moments. I wish that there was an easy undo in here because there is not. Another thing that I wish is that I could do this and play music, but I feel like I'll get in trouble for licensing or something. I had it where I wanted it and I messed it up too bad. Literally all I need to do is take the magenta down. And then I think that maybe in the highlights I should add like a little bit of cyan. And I make these like really almost weirdly small moves, and I do it on purpose. But that's just me. Alright, so we're starting to feel like we're in a place. The one main thing that I want to do now is put that like that. And then let's see what we got going on here. This to this. This has more green, this has more magenta. This feels like it matches this more to me. So I'm actually going to set this as my new reference photo now. I'm going to try to get this to match this, because I can see here that there's more magenta. Sorry for... And that's why people get their photos done so fast. I feel like they're just creating content. They're not creating anything that they care about. Because I can't just take a photo and post it on the internet. This is part of the process that I love. Okay. And now what I'm wondering is, should I just... Does that get me there? That takes me out of that, that's for sure, but I'm not gonna do that like that. No, I'm just getting silly. Oh, I forgot that I was playing around with the highlights in this one, huh? I don't remember doing that. I used to write down all of my Alright, I'm gonna set this as a reference. I just wanna like cross-check them all. Make sure I'm liking how they live. But where I was going with this comment is that I feel silly because today I learned about this. I should play around with this. Can you take things from Lightroom to Capture One or Capture One to Lightroom? I'm not gonna play around with that too hard right now. I just didn't know you could do this. I don't know why I didn't know you could do this, because this totally makes sense to know to do this, but I just never did this before. Oh, come on. And so, can I spell texture? Probably not. I have an action made for this. That's definitely, the last time I was on here, it wasn't loaded on, and I'm sure that it's still not on here, so I'm not even gonna pretend like I know about it. Also, tired of my hair falling in my face. I need to go get my hair cut really bad. This clip will do. Okay. We're gonna just do some frequency separation. And I'm actually going to text somebody really fast in case they want to see this. A friend of mine has asked about how to do this, and I need to actually work on like my continuing education for this, because I know that there are supposedly new ways to do this. Oh, it's invisible. Does that create a problem for me? I'm not sure. I was like, why can't I see it? Because normally I can see it. Alright. This, I assume, more work than what any normal person should ever have to do for this. So right now I've separated my color and my texture. The way that I was taught to do this is to go in with a brush and like be really crazy and do all of it with stippling. I think that that is just too much. Unless you're getting paid, I say that's too much in the sense of, I don't know how to explain this. I don't want to say it's too much because I'm going to backpedal on this. It's not too much, but it is too much if you overdo it or if you're not making a lot of Unreal by the end of it. And I just want to help promote that we get rid of that. But what I am going to do is just kind of like patch tool my way, which I used to like, I quit doing it like this for a while because I think that people, you know, editing skin to me will always be something that I do, because whether you edit your skin in a photo or whether you, I'm gonna take this out, or whether you edit your skin by getting Botox done, people are editing their faces left and right. Botox, Juvederm, surgery, whatever. So do what you want to do. That's my theory there. I feel like telling somebody that they shouldn't edit themselves would be like saying that you can't get a nose job. And we're gonna see how bad some of these ideas come out to look, because technically my texture and my color are separated, and so some of this, what I'm doing right now, might not work. Okay. Here's the real question. Am I cool enough to get this to even a texture issue? This is like a color issue in combination with texture. This one I might need to actually... Oh shit. Whoops. Okay, I'm not gonna do this one right now. I'm gonna make it look really bad if I keep trying. And I can just clone that over on a compressed layer, which is why I'm not gonna do that now. Alright, don't wanna like go in crazy on the hair, because I don't... I also know that there are a lot of people who like the dust and scratches and texture from film in their photos. I've had clients that I've like intentionally damaged their film for, and I get it. And I say intentionally damaged because they've like asked for it, so I like kind of manhandled it, whatever. Why am I doing this on my face? That was a mistake. Also, I shouldn't have said manhandled, but you know what I mean. I aggressively handled it. But I don't actually like that for my own work, because I feel like your imagery shouldn't look interesting because it has a bunch of scratches on it. That's just my theory. I feel like I'm not into, for my own work, things that feel like cheap and easy. So the thing I'm gonna do is use this infrared channel so that I can see. And this, honestly, Alyssa has amazing skin. Doing this on most people's skin can be really horrifying. But what I'm doing is it's allowing me to kind of bring out different areas that I want to go into. And just like really dodge and burn through there. And I might actually try to do more global stuff this time around. But we'll see. The other thing that I always try to recommend is when you're doing dodge and burn work, which dodging and burning means that I am painting in shadows and highlights in the face to reshape things. So when you're doing this, I try to recommend to start with burning details in first, because it's really easy to just like make a face two-dimensional. I've done it on my work in the past, and now I'm like, oh, why did I do that? And sometimes the light in the environment is a little bit two-dimensional or dynamic, like I don't want to say dynamic range, but there's more tonality on her face versus not. Little baby moments, and it's because I am. I'm gonna feel really bad if that was actually not a pimple. Not that like, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna feel bad if that was a freckle. Okay, because I believe that this is like a birthmark on her. I think I'm gonna take this area down first. Just a touch. So that way this graduation here is a little bit smoother. And then I'm gonna take these fine lines here up. I recently watched a video, I shouldn't say recently, but like within the past probably 6 months, I watched a video from a retoucher on YouTube who talked about not doing these smaller moves, and I agree and disagree with that comment, because I definitely think that if you fixate on doing every little small notch in someone's skin, it's gonna start to look, oops, really unnatural. But sometimes the areas that you want to get at the most are smaller, like that. I'm trying to think of where else I want to take this now. I definitely think that I can take some more moments out down here. And then maybe like a couple of these little guys can get blended in a little bit. We'll see, hold on. The one thing that I think is really fun about film is that, you know, I'm at 200% right now. But there's like a softness to the photos even when they're sharp or like in focus or whatever, because it's film and you're scanning it and you're printing it. You're not supposed to probably ever look at it this close, but here we are. I'm into this. I actually might lighten that like a touchy. I'll see. She might ask me. I don't know if she wants this out or not. I should ask. Wait, I'm gonna just like lighten it. I don't necessarily want to remove things that I think are natural to people, so like birthmarks and shit. But I definitely feel like lightening it a touch is kind of fun. Just to make all that graduation live there. And let's be honest, anything that I do right now is going to be significantly less than a campaign retoucher. I used to think that all of this tonality in someone's cheek needed to be even, and that's really funny to me to think about now, because I would never do that now. However, I do want to get a little bit more going in here. I'm on the right thing, right? That might be too much. Taking it back, taking it back. Yeah, there we go. And so I think that now that I've done this, I feel like, am I starting to make this blah? I don't know. Hold on. I love how I was going to try and describe that and then I just changed my mind. Alright, so this is definitely a moment where I would for sure. Ooh, that was probably in the wrong place. Just like go in here. And now I'm gonna kind of treat this. I'm gonna duplicate my burn layer. I'm gonna delete my mask. I'm gonna give myself a new one. And I'm gonna go into this almost like it's a contour palette here. I'm gonna do the same with the dodge. And the reason I'm gonna do this on a new, why did I do that twice? On a new layer is because if I want to change that up, then I can, without messing up any of my more refined choices. And then I'm gonna go back to my like detail dodge in here. Oh, wait, I'm gonna zoom back out first. I'm actually gonna duplicate my color and then I'm gonna play with my color layer. So I did not like what I just, I'm trying to decide the color that I want this to live in. And I feel like I want it to be a little bit more of a rosy pink color. And I'm literally just gonna make this, oh, that does not work over there. I'm hoping that within doing this in the under eye here, that can kind of take that shift. But do I like it? That's the real question. No, I don't. Or do I? It definitely neutralizes that. I don't think I like it. Whoops, I just unmuted my thing. Okay. You just heard my OBS. Okay. Oh, nope. I need to fix that. I think that, but I don't want to lift it too much. Alright, let's see where we're at now. We just like soften stuff up. I think there's a couple little spots on her nose that I want to play with. And I might need a higher. I hate when that happens. It's literally the worst. I might need a stronger brush for this. All right. And that just like kind of amplified the shape. We didn't reinvent the wheel. We didn't change who she is. She's still human, right? But here we are. What I think I might do decent about where my color is living. Lightroom. What I might do is just like the eyes and stuff. What's funny is I don't particularly know how to best use this tool yet. I just kind of know how to dial in what I like. Cause like, yeah, I definitely want that to be in there a little bit. And then what I'm gonna do is just mask it on her face. Just cause it's film. This to feel like the sharper area. And I'm gonna change the opacity 50 because I probably don't want it actually that sharp. And then I think that's it. I don't think that I'll play around with curves. Oh, I forgot about my corner. So I will play around with the curves, which is gonna look strange in the beginning. But just bear with me. Ta-da! And then let's see how close these colors are in each corner now. Oh, it's confused. Yeah, definitely. This one's still a little bit warmer to the left. But it's definitely still living in more of a harmonious green family versus being yellowy. A yellowy tone. Alright, I think that that's where I'm gonna let this live. Oh, I forgot about this part. So, I'm gonna duplicate these, merge layers exclusively because I'm pretty sure I need a compressed layer to fix this down here. And, yeah. So because the clothing is bending, I really need to pick a Gucci symbol that has like the best shape possible. Did I get it? Oh, come on. Alright, she's a little edited. No one's gonna know. Right? Who's gonna know? So there we are. I think that that's kind of how I want to drive the rest of these photos. I'm actually going to text this to Alyssa and see what she thinks. What do I have going on here? Did I just edit the wrong photo? Oh no. Haha, I did not, but that would have been funny if I had. And if she likes it, I'll finish the rest of them like this. Hi! I totally missed this. I feel horrible. I wasn't paying attention, but But thanks for joining me, and I hope to see y'all again sometime soon. Probably tomorrow. Have a nice night. Bye!